Okay. Okay. Ooh. Hello.
How's it going?
Good. You all are auditors, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. You all ready for the third degree?
Nope.
Charles Vincent. How you doing?
Matthew Margaglio.
Okay.
We don't do the third
Matthew,
degree.
You don't do the third degree? How you
Christina
doing?
Sage.
Okay, very good. Where are y'all from?
Lafayette.
Lafayette. Where'd y'all go to college?
I went to UL.
UL. Okay. It used to be
USL.
USL. That's right.
Well, I was actually there when it was UL.
In fact, I did for the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase. Did you know Glenn Conrad over there?
I did not.
He was at, the Louisiana Historical Association offices in the library, the free library, many times, and the Ernest Gaines Center went there, the Oatmeal. But he had some anthologies for the bicentennial of Louisiana Purchase. I went to the working group. And he selected scholars from around the country. I think we only African Americans in Louisiana. We got 300 each, 700 pages. And the first one has USL on it. The other has ULL on the spine. Yeah, I have some good friends from ULL.
Yep.
And you went to ULL too?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Did you know Dr. Dennis Sorrento?
No, I did not.
You did? Okay. Yeah. You passed when your wife still lived. Yes, indeed. 50 miles away, Lafayette. You got the interstate there finally completed, so you can come without having to drive around
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah, I have mine.
That's good. Well, thank you all for what you've done, and as always, I have questions. That's what I do as a historian.
Can it cut that AC
Know
down
when,
just a
why,
little
and
bit?
how, and stuff like that. I was trying to.
We're doing good.
I
How are
mean,
you,
cut it
sir?
up to like 72.
What cause it increased the, hey, how you doing? You increased the, yeah. So,
All right,
yeah,
we got the
raise
mic
your
on. We're gonna start on time, huh? Later or not.
Yes, okay.
You have one for everybody, or just for the mayor? We just have one agenda.
Yeah, we had your agenda.
And you got both of them, huh?
No, I got
mine
both
in
of them,
there.
because I have a question.
Put one right there, that's good.
I got
You still have your copy?
Yeah, I got my copy, I'm gonna go get it.
We need to,
I was telling you, your auditor, I said, I'm gonna give you a third degree. He said, we don't want the third degree. I just have questions sometimes.
Yeah, our order, we're gonna start, we're gonna, when we get this done, we're gonna start, we can get back on track.
So you worked on the budget and the auditor. You've been busy.
Let me tell you,
no, oh, you talking to the mayor?
yeah, that was something.
Yeah.
Pray for the fish. Pray for the fish.
Oh, so we ain't gonna get none.
Yeah, just pray for it. You can get some different kinds. Pray for it. Just pray like you always pray.
Look,
And they're moving the pole. They're moving the pole. Get the pole out of the way.
what about the, we need the AC, the Titan AC,
The who?
the
Porta
port.
potty. I sent it to Ashley that. This is where it says she may not be able to make it.
That's all right. We don't need no corn. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started this session. Yeah, we don't need no corn. This is just questions. Test. All right, we can go ahead and get started. All right. We'll bring this meeting to order. You want to pray for me today? Want to pray? All right, bring this meeting to order. Invocation be done by Council Member Robert Young. Pledge of allegiance by Council Member Dunn. Please stand. Heavenly Father,
We actually thank you for just allowing us to have this meeting here this evening. And Father, allow us just do the goodness for this city, oh Lord. And in the glory, we'll give you all the glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Recite the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you guys, we are reviewing the 2025 audit financial statements, and this is our auditor. So, and then next week we'll go ahead and do the engagement letter with them so we can get back on time. I'll let them come up and introduce themselves. Did a great job. Y'all come on up, introduce yourself so we can get started. And remember, I got people on overtime. All right.
Good evening. Matthew Margaglio, I'm the engagement partner in charge of the audit. My team and I came out, did the work, and I'm going to turn it over to my audit manager, Christina, to introduce herself and kind of go through the summary of what we did for the audit, and then we're going to let Mary Sue handle some of the other pieces to the financial statements.
Okay.
Your name is,
Matthew,
Matthew, okay,
M-A-T-T-H-E-W.
all right. My, family name is Matthew, so we're good. And you Christina with a C,
With a K.
with a K,
K.
okay.
Yes. As Matt mentioned, I was the manager on the job, so I gave to each of y'all a little packet. That's what we're gonna go over.
Okay.
There's 4 parts that make up the full audit packet. There's the independent auditor's report, the independent auditor's report on internal control, independent auditor's report on federal awards, and the financial information. Those first 3 items come from us as your auditors, and the financial information comes from management. As management, responsibilities are to prepare and fairly present the financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America, design, implement, and maintain internal controls relevant to the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements so that they are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, the prevention and detection of fraud, ensure compliance with laws, regulations, grant requirements, contracts, or other provisions applicable to the city's operations, and to provide the auditors with access to records, documentation, and representations necessary to perform the audit. As your auditors, it's our responsibility to obtain an understanding of the internal controls over financial reporting, assess risks of material misstatement, and design audit procedures responsive to those risks. We evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies, the reasonableness of significant estimates, and the overall presentation of the financial statements. We test compliance with applicable significant laws, regulations, contracts, and grant requirements. We express an opinion on whether the financial statements are fairly presented. We express an opinion on direct and material compliance with major federal programs, and we communicate any deficiencies in internal control or compliance matters that come to our attention. If we flip to the next page, I extracted this directly out of your audit report. It's page 86. This is an overall snapshot of the report. For your financial statements, the type of report we issued was an unmodified opinion. That's the best opinion you can get. That means we issued a clean opinion. In internal controls over financial reporting, we noted no material weaknesses, but we did identify some significant deficiencies, and we will go over those next. And we noted some non-compliance issues. For your federal awards, we issued a unmodified opinion on your compliance for major programs. Again, clean opinion there. And we did notice one compliance issue there. Any questions so far on?
Yes, I do. What do unmodified opinion, what that mean?
That means it's a clean opinion.
Okay.
That's the
And
best opinion that we can issue.
on the first page, we was talking about the management responsibility. Is that head from each department?
That is overall the entity, which you guys are responsible for, the, what Mary Sue, and then your payroll clerks, your AP
So
clerks.
that mean that's coming from our staff?
It's management, yeah, so management would be the mayor, Angela, finance, we're the ones that produce the report. So, and we'll kind of make sure that everyone's compliant and that we're reporting correctly.
Thank you.
Department head's role is, they also have a role in compliance to make sure that they're following all the policies and procedures that management says they should follow. So that's their participation in this process.
Now, you did say that you did have one finding under the audit.
Yes,
You
and,
said you're gonna go.
yes,
you're
we're,
gonna go over that.
that is next.
Okay.
But any other questions, I'm happy to answer.
Because you answered my questions, what I had highlighted, that you said you're gonna go over those. I just
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, well, I don't know if I need to ask this here question now or later, but I think when we get into the question period, I'll ask it. Because I want to be able to refer this audit, knowing how to refer this here audit, and the one that Mary Sue gives us to y'all.
So, and I don't have a copy of the,
So what you're looking at is the budget, I believe.
Budget.
I know, but the budget is still implemented in this here audit. It's still implemented in this
It
here
is,
audit at some
yes,
point. I
it's
know
gonna be
that.
in the, there's a section in there, that is, pages 64, starting on 64, where we compare
64 in your part,
in the
or in
audit.
the audit, on
Yeah.
page 64, we
So
compare?
the audit, the financial report is the city's financial report. They're auditing that financial report. So starting on 64 is the budget to actual comparisons of your major governmental funds. So, yeah, so budget that was approved last year, you're gonna see those figures in there, because there's a actual column and a budget column.
Okay, but what I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, I want to know how do you compare the numbers from here to here in the audit, from the audit, because I know you take these numbers here, and then they take the numbers and compress them into this, right? Combine them, well, to a certain extent,
Yeah, we
And everything,
prepare it
so-
and they make sure that
that is
what we
compared,
wrote.
yeah,
what
but
we
I
put in
want
there
to
is
see
correct.
how you follow it, that's all. I just want to know how you follow it. Maybe you can explain it to me after.
okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on, I'd like to go over the findings that we did issue this year. First one, we had inadequate segregation of accounting functions within the police department. The city does not have a sufficient number of staff performing the administrative and financial duties to provide adequate segregation between the accounting and financial duties.
So what is that? Where would
Say-
we follow that at?
It's on page 87 of the
Okay,
big report.
Okay,
So these next few pages I extracted directly out of your audit report.
okay.
So the response, we talked with Mary Sue, and there is a plan in place that management's going to reassign duties among people that are available, and she's getting involved in making sure that duties are adequately segregated. So there's a plan in place. Cash and interfund reconciliations. At the end of the year, the city did have a significant outstanding interfund receivable and payable balance. The city operates on a pooled cash system, and with the unresolved interfund balances, the pooled cash structure, certain funds which have restricted resources may have temporarily financed operations of other funds, which created a risk that restricted resources were used for unauthorized purposes.
So do we know what those are?
Mary Sue does.
So-
Again, speaking with Mary Sue,
So you will be, you gonna tell us
She-
those things?
she's got a timeline set in place for the repayment of those balances. There was some internal controls over payroll processing. During our review of the payroll process, we noted that key payroll functions were not adequately segregated, and certain payrolls were processed without sufficient documentation of supervisory approval of accuracy and reasonableness. Again, there's been some new controls and processes that are being put in place so that payroll will be approved properly and timely.
So you're saying the payroll, I'm just getting to understand.
Yes,
We new
so-
at this, well, I'm new at this. And so, you know, for someone to break it down to us and explain it to us is very good. But
So
at the same time, you know.
some of the processes that we were seeing, there's one person doing the entire payroll process. She's getting the timesheet, she's entering it, she's processing it, and in between those steps, there was no documentation that it was being reviewed before it was finalized and paid.
So we're looking at adding another person to staff, is that what you're
Not
saying?
necessarily, it's
Okay.
just adding someone in that you may already have on staff that can review to make sure that it's reasonable from pay period to pay period.
Just following certain protocol.
Yes. The next finding that we had, this was a compliance finding, late report issuance. Your fiscal year end is June 30th, and you have a requirement that the audit be completed within 6 months of the close of the fiscal year, which means we would have had a December 31st deadline. Some of that was last year's, the 2024 audit was not completed on time as well, and then we did not get approved to perform the 2025 audit until right before Thanksgiving. So we were, it was just a kind of timely
That
deadline.
was last year
It was-
when we did this here, and we
Correct.
was late on it, okay.
Correct.
But it's cleared up.
We're
We're
working.
working on it.
We're
to
hoping.
clear it up.
Yes, we've got a plan. We actually just met with Mary Sue. Part of the engagement approval process that you're all going to put on the next agenda is going to get us hired sooner, which allows us to work with Mary Sue's team shortly after the end of your fiscal year.
Mhm.
And then we have the full 6 months to do the audit instead of a compressed month, which just didn't work out for anybody's team. To get an audit this size done in a month is not feasible.
Okay.
So there's a definite plan in place to hopefully reduce the risk of the late issuance for your 2026, June 30, 2026 fiscal audit.
So when you all do that, and the reason why my concern is on that, when you do it, when we put it on the agenda, you all gonna be present, because a lot of constituents like hearing it coming from more than just us. You follow what I'm saying? Will you all be present for that meeting?
Which part of
When we
this
get ready to
is-
put it on the agenda for the hire you all?
For the 26th.
Yeah.
All it is what it is, it's called, what it's called?
It's our engagement.
Engagement
Yeah,
letter.
it's just- all you do is just give me permission to sign a contract.
Gotcha.
That's what the engagement is.
So typically, they would come to do the presentation of the audit during a regular public meeting.
Right.
It's just because of timing that we're here. So the public would typically hear this report.
They could have came, that's why we did it on the work session, so we wouldn't be on a time restraint.
Yeah.
And we put it out, just like we put out an agenda. So
Yeah.
they hear it, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube now.
Yeah, but what he's talking about with the engagement letter, it's the engagement letter you do every year when you hire an attorney.
Right.
And we hire the auditor. And so you just vote to allow me to do the contract with the auditor so we can start on time.
So at this particular time, y'all will be on point to start everything once we approve and ready for you all to go. So
Yes.
y'all will have everything properly done by December 31st, or should it be
Yes.
November?
December 31st is the statutory deadline for the state.
Mhm.
If we get the approval and everything moves forward on the timeline we kind of hashed out, we would anticipate having it done well before the December 31st deadline,
Mhm.
which would then put you into compliance with the state statute. And one of the findings further down is just a repeat, because you have both the state and federal compliance requirement, both of which have a timely deadline, and we can't piggyback off of one finding. We're required by statute to report it twice, even though it is the exact same finding. So if we can get this all timely, which working with Mary Sue and the game plan we have hashed out would work, barring anything crazy that's unexpected, we would anticipate being in full compliance with y'all by December 31st of '26.
Okay, and one question again, would, we be able to review this here before you all, turn it in like we are doing now? I mean, you know, to know that the
So-
changes have occurred and the updates have been properly,
Yes, so
done.
what would normally happen is we would work with Mary Sue and have a draft ready to go, and then schedule a timeline to meet with her and her team, and how she would release it to y'all would be on her. But to get together before we have the meeting, we would want to put it in your hands a couple of days or a couple of weeks in advance.
It probably needs to be like a couple weeks in advance because it gives you time to look over, review it, and really read it if you, you know, we're gonna take time and do it right. Especially for people that's, I know, ma'am, I know what you're saying. But, I see the expression on your face, I know. But anyway, I just
Yeah.
wanna be able to have it, you know,
Oh, no,
in time, so, you know, at least you'll have an understanding.
Ideally,
You know.
we would have it to the council within a reasonable amount of time before we would be anticipating to come and present, be it in a regular meeting or in a work session like this. That's the best way to do it.
I think a work session would be great.
Yeah, we don't mind doing, the work sessions to us is still an open meeting, we're able to meet with the whole council, whoever shows up. So there's no issues there for us. It really gives us the opportunity to have the natural back and forth and not absorb too much of your agenda time.
That's right.
So that's fine with whatever the council desires, is fine with us.
So the next finding that we have, bond compliance. The city did not make required continuing disclosures related to their outstanding bonds on the MSRB reporting website. Again, this is something that Mary Sue has gotten in touch with. She's got a timeline to make sure that that y'all's report gets submitted on to the website timely. Budget compliance in the general fund and the street fund, there was a variance in excess of 5%.
Which one that is? Budget compliance? Which one did you say?
The general fund and the street fund. Those two had variances in excess of the 5%.
And what you mean by variance?
So the projected revenues, or was it the revenues? Revenues or expenditures did not meet what was budgeted by more than 5%.
We can rectify that, we gotta come back and do a budget amendment for that, and that'll be in compliance.
And that last finding, the late report submission, this was what Matt was referring to. We have to duplicate that same finding regarding the federal award submission.
And that's for the, last year, December 20,
That's the one that
That's the
we're
one,
talking about.
yes.
today.
Yes.
okay.
So again, if everything stays on the timelines and plans that we've got in place, we hope that that finding will go away for the 2026 audit. Any other questions about the auditor's reports or the findings?
Okay, I have, your, item you gave us, at the start, answered the first question I have down here about what exactly do you do, and you broke it down even further than you have in the audit report. I appreciate that in a smaller manner. Did you examine all the contracts, and are they okay, in addition to the salaries and how we pay the people? Did you examine all the contracts?
So we don't test every single one. We test
Okay.
on a test basis. We did test the ones that were significant and
Okay.
material.
Okay. Now, in the audit report, in your letter to the mayor, on page 3, you mentioned, your letter to the mayor, you said you expressed an opinion but you couldn't provide any assurances that, what do you mean that you expressed an opinion, but you couldn't provide any assurances? In the report itself, I guess, from what I can understand from other auditors' reports, you kind of can only go by what you're receiving to do your report on.
So,
Let's see if I can exactly where this is. Now, in your letter to the mayor, in the larger report, let's see, I have page 3 of your letter to the mayor, express opinion. That's the top of where you sign your letter, the third page, in your, at the very last, the first paragraph on that
okay.
page.
I follow where you are.
Yeah,
Okay, so within the,
right here. And that's the letter to the mayor.
yeah, so that is our independent auditor's report.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
And that independent auditor's report is broken further down into multiple sections.
okay.
The financial statements as a whole, we were able to provide an opinion on. We were
Okay.
able to do all of the testing, we did all of the stuff we needed to say that this is a fair presentation of those financial statements.
Okay.
The section that you're talking about is what we call required supplementary information. So within this whole packet are subsections. One of those is required supplementary information.
Okay.
That is something that the Governmental Accounting Standards Boards, who writes the rules and regulations that you have to follow, says that they want management to include in this report. We look at it to see if it's reasonable in nature, but just by its natural circumstances, we can't perform testing of that information, so we're not allowed to express an opinion on it.
Okay.
That is only a very small subset of the reporting packet. The key ones in there are your management discussion and analysis, which is the summary that Mary Sue puts together, basically taking this whole packet and condensing it down into about 10 pages
Okay.
with some historical information and with some future projections.
Okay.
I can't tell you whether the future is going to happen or not. That's what the sentence that you're looking at is. It's like,
Okay.
I can't predict the future any better than any of us, so I'm not allowed to tell you as an auditor that, in my opinion, the future is going to happen.
Okay.
We looked at it, it sounds right, what we know about the economy, what we know about the city, what we know about the general state conditions, says, yeah, this is reasonable. She's not blowing it way out of proportion,
Okay.
but I can't promise you that it's going to happen.
Okay.
And that's the difference of why we say for this required supplementary information, we're prohibited from expressing an opinion on it due to just the nature of what is performed.
Okay.
But your financial statements as a whole do have a clean opinion, the best opinion you can get. And anybody who is reviewing this, so you've got grantors who are looking at it, you've got bond companies who are looking at it, the general public looking at it. They can use this information and rely on it based on our opinion in their decision-making process.
Okay.
Are you spending the money how you said you were going to spend it? Did you receive what you were supposed to receive?
Okay.
Are you in the different compliances? That's what our opinion means.
Okay, very good. So, in that other information, you explained that, because
It's
I had
the
a
same
question about that.
exact same.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
So it's just subsets of the entire financial packet.
Yeah.
And we have to, by rule, say, we opine on this, we can't touch this, this is what we did for each of these different sections.
Okay. Now, down there in that next paragraph, other reporting required by government, you put today's date down there. Did you mean that, or that was just inadvertently thinking?
No,
You
so
see what I'm
it's
talking
the-
about, the April 14, 2026? In accordance with the, we have also issued our report dated,
April 30th.
no, I see April 14,
Oh,
2026.
the final packet is April 30th.
Okay,
And so
okay,
that is the date of when we were able to finish and complete and release everything.
okay. So that should be 30th
Mhm.
instead of 14. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay, I had a question about that since you changed that date, I thought it was a separate report, okay.
No, it's all included in this packet.
Okay, all right, yeah. And as I look at, on page 10, had a question, let's see what my question was.
And I'm going to defer to Mary Sue because this is her section. She put this together.
Okay, okay,
It's-
okay. I guess my question, Mary Sue, is, are we in the red because I know how budgets for cities as opposed to my personal budget, you know.
Yes.
I paid my kids tuition. If they didn't go to class, that was on them. Saying,
Right,
but the
right.
city, you use the utilities and then you pay, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a different beast there. But that's my question on page 10, 22.1 million over liabilities, deficits of 11.9 million. Do you see where I am there on the financial highlights?
Yes, sir, and I'm gonna refer you to page 61.
Okay,
There's a note 14 is deficit fund balances, so we do have a deficit balance in the
Page
general
64
fund.
you referring?
61.
61.
61, yeah. I know we.
In the general fund, in the cemetery fund, and the city parish sewer revenue funds,
Okay,
we have deficit balances.
okay,
Now, the general fund, we do have a plan, that was one of the things that they talked about, the pool
Okay.
and using money, because of all the projects that we've had going
yeah,
on, okay?
yeah,
So our projects are coming to an end, we are collecting more money because we now have more residences, more businesses, and so we do have a plan to pay that money back. So,
okay,
so that should turn around.
okay,
The cemetery, we do have some things for y'all to make decisions on over the next couple of weeks, so that we can turn that around. The
Okay.
cemetery's always kind
yes,
of been in
yes,
that situation.
yeah,
It's just really hard, but there is a plan for that as well. And then the city parish sewer revenue fund, basically we had a deficit because we made a transfer.
okay,
Um,
Excuse me, I'm trying to follow you, what you're saying.
okay,
here.
she's on page 61.
I'm looking at page 61.
The
You
last
talking about the
paragraph.
last paragraph,
The last note, note 14, deficit
Okay.
fund balances.
so before you was talking about what, the,
cemetery.
13?
Yeah, she's talking about the cemetery.
No, I'm talking before, when you first started, you was talking about 13 when you referred us to it from the beginning, page
Yeah,
61?
so in the highlights
Highlights,
that he's talking about, it kind of touches on deficit balances. But what I was saying is, if you refer to page 61, that gives you the detail
breaks it down
of
for
the
us.
funds that are in a deficit position.
Okay, okay,
Now, she got to
Thank
explain
you.
to you, the cemetery is a different kind of monster.
yeah,
Because it
yeah,
changes it's gonna change.
yeah,
Because I think we probably are getting to the end of the, what is it, Mary, so what they call?
The pre-needs
The
that
pre-needs.
existed when we took
Okay,
over.
so,
Yeah.
so here's the deal with the pre-need. When they bought what they bought in 1975,
yeah,
it was that price.
yeah,
So when
that's
they
right,
died, now when we go to get it, it's not that price
Right.
anymore, it's higher.
yeah,
Okay, so we have to pay the difference because they've already paid for that.
yeah,
And so the cemetery fluctuates,
yeah,
okay? And so we work, it's a lot better than it was when we came in 12 years ago,
yeah,
because it was always in the red.
yes,
And sometimes it's gonna have a deficit, it depends on how many people died, and if they had prepaid for what they bought down. So that's gonna it's gonna get better as we bring more people who pay as they die. Sad to say, but that's basically
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. I know you're right. About 12 years ago, we was trying to unload it,
Right.
and the name change hasn't helped us out at all.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's coming along, but what they want now with this new generation, they want the mausoleum. That's what she said. She's coming to y'all. But we're gonna have to buy a new mausoleum, at least
Oh,
two
wow.
because we filled them up. So
Yeah.
it is growing. It is actually growing.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes it's gonna show a deficit because
yeah,
of just that. So
yeah, okay,
it
yeah,
doesn't stay long.
Now, I will tell you, in the last 9 years, we've only had one person come with a contract that we weren't aware of.
oh, wow,
We used to have quite a
Bunch
bit
of
that would
them,
come
yeah.
every year that said, no, I've got a contract, and we didn't have it. And of course, you know, the reason the city took it over is because they took all the money for the prepay. So all of those people, the cities had to pay for over the
Yes,
years.
yes, it's been interesting, yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, yeah.
So we were on the downside of surprises.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
So now we're gonna charge them a little bit more for like projected.
Well, that's one of the things we would like for y'all to consider, and so finance has sent something to the mayor to look at and approve and see about having that. But our fees are much lower than any other
Yes,
cemetery
yes,
around.
yeah,
And
around, that's
even
right.
with some projected, some proposed increases, it's still gonna be below where you can get anywhere in any other cemetery around
Sure.
us. But we just
Yeah.
have that need now.
Yeah,
So,
because I remember you could get the complete everything, and it was very reasonable. I remember when we increased that fee for that, and yeah, still, cost is just zoomed out of sight.
yeah, it's just increasing. And like you said, we're on the downside of surprises, we're on the downside of people that have passed, but we still have about 300,000 or something in people that had a contract
Yes.
way back when and have not passed and used it yet. So we know they're coming.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean, if you're born, you're gonna die, so we know.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I have so far, so I'll let my colleagues see if they have some more questions.
I'm just gonna go back and review some of it and then I'll call you, Mary Sue.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I will also probably, as I go through it a little bit closer, have some more questions.
Thank you, did a detailed, report.
Yeah,
Thank you so
and
much.
thank you for this
And thank you for explaining all
three-page
the-
summaries and four-page
findings,
summaries.
So
Yeah,
that we could be aware of them and know, what we need to be looking for,
yeah,
to
yeah,
stay
thank
on
you.
top of it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Well, we thank y'all for your time.
okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna get the, you the vice president, huh? You wanna go ahead and hit the gavel and close this out?
Ah! You sitting right there.
You have to be the president in a month.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dr. Benson, I expected a whole long,
Oh, no.
You sure did get it.
Yeah.
I know you.
I did, my schedule's been upside down. You're glad. But I'll
Can we get a
chance.
motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
Second.